Hello, I'm the PC Expert Amateur, and before I start this review of the Cooler Master Sickle Flow 120, first of all, I'd like to give a call out to Jay's 2 cents. Jay recently released a video. He doesn't know me, I don't know him, but I've watched him, and he admitted that he's experiencing some pretty bad health situation right now. He's has a lot of weird symptoms and stuff, and it's really hard for him to continue to do what he does and maintain the level of energy he normally does and do the job, the quality level that he wants to do. And he's really struggling. So if you guys can just hop over to Jay's 2 cents and give him some support, that would be greatly appreciated. I think he deserves it. That's it for that one. And then the other shout out is for Bleeping Computer. I've been on Bleeping Computer for, gosh, I think it's been about a decade now. And I've been there helping people. I've been there also getting help from other people about hardware, but primarily getting help removing malware. I learned about malware removal from them after I had already started teaching myself malware removal, so that was very useful. And if you want to learn about security, it is a great place because they have a lot of news about computer security, and you can learn a lot that way. They also have the remote malware removal training program in which you get to get actual experience being a volunteer on Bleeping Computer. And shout out to Grinler, the owner, Lawrence Abrams, who late last year, he went through, I believe it was heart surgery. And Lawrence, I hope you're doing okay and taking good care of yourself now. So please go to Bleeping Computer. That is what I consider my text home, where I try to post information that I think is useful for people, aside from doing the videos here, rather than having my own blog anymore. I do have a blog. I just stopped using it because it just wasn't worth the effort to maintain it. So finally, if you want to learn about security, another great resource to help you get an understanding in a more general way, but you'll learn a lot of stuff anyways, like what's tailgating, you'll find out. Is Darknet Diaries. It is created by a cybersecurity expert named Jack Rhysider, and he has his own website, darknetdiaries.com. You can also find him on Apple and on YouTube. And if you just search for Darknet Diaries, you should be able to find his podcasts. I never considered myself to be an expert, but I knew some things about cybersecurity already. And listening to his interviews with cybersecurity experts, members of the intelligence communities, CEOs, and also current and former criminals, I learned a lot. I found it very, very helpful. It helped to open my eyes even further as to just how perilous it is to be online and how difficult it is to not be online, even if you're not going online or you're being very careful about going online, because everybody is tracking you, not just criminals. Governments are tracking you around the world, and it's becoming more and more and more intrusive. I mean, if you own for example, if you own an Apple, they track you. If you own a Samsung phone, they track you. If you own a Google phone, they track you. I mean, when I say Google, I don't just mean a Google phone. I mean also Android. So, and then there are all the social media platforms that track you. It's just insane. But yeah, so Darknet Diaries, Bleeping Computer, and shout out to of support to Jay's 2 cents. Please get well, Jay. Take care of yourself. All right. So now, sorry about that. I just needed to get that out. I always want to talk about Darknet Diaries and Bleeping Computer. I just always forget to actually say something. So this is the fan we are looking at today, and it is the Sickle Flow 120 version 2. It doesn't say it on the box. I assume that they still had the old boxes and they didn't want to put a sticker on there saying version 2 or and they didn't want to just throw them away and do a new box because they wanted to get rid of the old boxes first. But this is the new fan frame design. Now, I don't know what about this fan frame design is so special, because to me, as a layperson, I don't see anything remarkable about this frame. It looks very, very standard, although the outside is, there's a little bit of a design on the outside there. You can kind of see it. But on, inside, it just, otherwise, it's just pretty. I like the sticker. But that, that's not going to affect performance. This is a PWM with a sleeve. If you like sleeves, if you think sleeves are important, I guess. I don't particularly feel that they are important. I can live with or without them. I find that either way there are challenges. Ultimately, for me, I prefer no sleeve, but that's just me. You do what you feel is best for your computer. And my goal here is just to try and inform you of things so that you can make better decisions. And obviously, I am not like Aris at Hardware Busters or Lubo over at hardwarecooling.net, or even Steve at Gamers Nexus, or even Linus at Linus Tech Tips, or Jay at Jay's 2 Cents, or any of the other ones like Gerbauer and Hardware Canucks and Tech Notice and all these other websites are in channels and stuff like that on YouTube. I am way below them. I please don't look at me and say, hey, you must be an amazing expert. No, I'm constantly learning. And if you want to get into tech, you will be constantly learning too, because tech is constantly changing. Whether it's hardware or software, it doesn't matter. In fact, software, it moves at an even crazier pace than hardware does, just because hardware pushes it, and there are always new innovations and stuff. So, yeah. Trying to stay on task here and not doing a good job of it. So this is a pretty good fan. You should be able to use this on a case or on a heat sink for an air cooler, no problem. If you have a low density radiator, you can use it on that as well. But if you have one of the more dense radiators, which a lot of radiators nowadays are dense, this would not be really sufficient. It's not going to be able to push enough air through the radiator to do a proper job of cooling off your cooler, your CPU, that is, as well as you probably would like. So you want to look at fans that have a static pressure over 3, preferably much higher than 3, just to make sure that you're getting the optimum results. Because aside from the pump power and the size of the radiator, probably the only factor that you can change once you've purchased your AIO is getting better fans. And so if you can find an AIO with a great pump and a great radiator, and it's cheap, get that and then swap the fans out with something better. And there are lots of choices out there, believe me. I am slowly working my way through my inventory. It's going to take me a few months, because now that the holidays are over, I can't pump out 10, 11, 12. Well, actually, I don't think I got to 12. I think the most I got to was 11. But I can't pump out a bunch of reviews every day like I was doing during the holidays most of the time anyways. So, sorry about that. All right, so as always, we're going to be comparing it to the Noctua NF812x25, and we'll start by listening to this fan to see what it sounds like, see how it see whether it's a noisy fan or not. What do you guess? What do you think is going to happen? Put your belief in the comments. Oh, it does have corner cushions. I initially heard a little bit of a kind of a tick 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 sound, but it disappeared after about a second, which is probably just because this fan has been sitting around for a while. I was able to back it off a bit here, Oops. That's about as slow as it's going to go. I can barely hear it at all. Still very quiet. Okay, now I can start to hear it. Very low pitch. Sorry, my heater just kicked in. That's actually pretty quiet. I'm pretty sure it's quieter than the Noctua, but let's compare. Okay, I can hear that Noctua high-pitched whine. Oh yeah, it's definitely louder. All right. Well, for those of you who heard me recently, I got a new fan controller. Unfortunately, I need an extension for my fan controller because my power supply's MolXD connector, which is required in addition to plugging it into my computer so I can monitor the power usage, is not long enough for me to have it sitting up here on my desk. So I thought I bought the right one, but it turns out I didn't, and Micro Center doesn't have the right one, so I have to do some searching and try to find one. Oh, there's something else I wanted to mention. They, with the new fan, with the new Sickle Flow, they have sealed the fan bearing, so it's going to last longer. So if you have an old Sickle Flow, this is a much more important difference, I think, than the frame, especially since the frame doesn't seem to have any real beneficial changes, although it says it reduces turbulent flow and noise and increases overall work efficiency. I guess the old frame must have been really horrible if that's the case, because I don't see anything unique about it. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the fan blades, although they are translucent, they are slightly textured. On both sides, although it seems to be much finer on the back side of the blades. The frame itself is also slightly textured. All right. Please do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share to help me build this channel. I was pretty excited over the holidays to be able to get it up to, now it's 49. It went up from 48 to 49 over the past week. So I'd like to keep on building it. If you could please help me out, that would be absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for your support to everybody who watches, and especially to those people who have subscribed or left messages sharing their thoughts. And let's go ahead and take a look at the data about this fan now. All right, so the Cooler Master Sickle Flow 120, and this is the version 2, or the MFX-B2NN-18NPK-R1. Gosh, that's quite the mouthful. I don't think they hold the record for the biggest mouthful of gobbledygook for a model number, but yeah, I think that's in the running. There's another one, which I am assuming is the frame. It's DFS. Oh, it's hard to read. 12025. One two RF MN. Whew. Okay, add that all together, and now we have a real challenger for the most complicated information. So again, I think that the model that they put on the fan itself is quite possibly the frame model number rather than the fan's number, although I'm not sure on this particular brand if that's the case or not. And it is a black frame with translucent gray blades. And I have made a little change to my spreadsheet. If you look at the formula bar, you'll see that I've taken the total price paid and added it all together, divided by 2. So now you're seeing what is approximately the price per fan anytime I have purchased more than one fan. So if we look back here, the Kona C is about $8 a fan. The Lian Li Bora is about $7.11 per fan. The NZXT F120, which one is this? The white is $12 a fan. $6 a fan for the Antec P12. $5.66 for the Asia Horse Magic C, which isn't worth it. $4.66 for the Fishbone, which if it lasts long enough is worth it. $13.33 for the Thermalright TLRS12 RGB. $5.66 for the Yaean, which is kind of a crappy fan. $8.33 for the Corsair SB120 RGB Elite, not really worth it, I don't think, but it's a cheap fan if that's what you need. $13.37 for the ML120, which is still a lot, still within the realm of respectability for that fan in particular. $12 a piece for the Storm fans, which is I'm just a little bit surprised that that's as expensive as it is, although they are good fans. The Fantex is $11.67 for the SK120 PWM DRGB. And then the Height Flow FA12 is $8.33. The Dark Flash DR12 Pro Ice Storm Gaming blah 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 is $8.15. The Jazz Cooling DM120 is $4.33. And that's as far as we've gotten so far. Just wanted to beat a distraction again. Sorry. All right, it's got several certifications. It's got the Underwriter Laboratories E465463, UKCA, CE, FCC, EAC, and RCM, which is from Australia and New Zealand. Apparently, it's not very well known, and this is the first time that I can think of that I've seen it. So I looked it up and found it. There are other symbols that I have not been able to figure out. Because they don't have any writing on them. It's just like a check mark and a box or kind of a recycling appearance. And so there are actually more certifications on these fans sometimes, but I don't know what they mean. Okay, so this is made in China, 120 by 25, 160,000 hours, which is really good for a rifle bearing. And it's got a 2-year warranty, also pretty good. And then we can see the weight is 156 grams. Now, if we back up just a second here and look at how this compares to the Noctua gives a minimum of 150,000 hours and a 6-year warranty. So, it's also almost 3 times more expensive than the Cooler Master. But, hold on. Let's take a look at the rest of it. So 156 versus 200 grams, 7 blades versus 9, 650 to 1800 RPMs versus the Noctua's 450 to 2000, 10% variance, and then 62 CFMs of airflow, which is like which is more than half the Noctua's 102.1. I'm sorry, math in my head is not my strong point. And then 2.5 static pressure. So here we've got a situation where the static pressure is actually better than the Noctua's NFA 12 by 25 of 2.34. So that's a plus. Minimum noise 8, maximum 27 decibels. The fan's cable is 31 centimeters long, and this is, I'm going to say, if we look here, we just heard the Cooler Master, and it was quieter than the Noctua, but the Noctua, they claim 22.6, and I'm not buying it. I don't know how they got to that. If it's just like only when it's brand new out of the box and then it gets noisier and noisier, I don't know. But their bearings are fantastic. No daisy chaining, but it does have sleeving on it. The connector is PWM. Again, the bearing is rifle. 12 volts, 1.8 watts, and 0.15 amps with a maximum safety current of 0.37. And this whole thing of rated and current and safety current and maximum current is a little bit ambiguous from one fan maker to another, or even from newer fans to older fans. It's not, there's I don't understand what's going on, but like, it doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes. Okay, so it does have indicators of rotation and flow. It does turn in a clockwise manner. It has 4 screws. And it does have corner cushions, but that's all there is. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Please like, subscribe, and share.